Hey everybody, Mac here, welcome back to the show. What we have today is McFarlane Toys Raven Guard Veteran Sargent from Warhammer 40k. Full disclosure, before we get into any of this, as you know from when we did the Blood Angel, I know nothing about Warhammer 40k. I have a very casual knowledge of the franchise, but I don't know anything about the different orders within the Space Marines. I don't know much about the Gene Stealers. I don't know about the other two races, I think, involved in it. I just know I really like this Space Marine design. I really like these big, chunky, armored figures that we're getting from McFarlane Toys. Now, this is the, as I said, the Raven Guard Veteran Sargent. And I was kind of upset because when I did the Blood Angel review, I wanted this one just because I really dig like this whole Reaper look it has going with the jet black armor, the bone white logo, the bone white sort of death's head helmet up here. I really like this stark look, but at the time it was sold out because this is a GameStop exclusive. However, since then, GameStop has gotten more in stock. You can get them online at GameStop.com. I'll put a link to the description below. So I was very happy that I was able to get one of these. And I know one of my viewers, he ordered, I think he said 4 of them, and he was making some sort of, what was it called, a Death Guard? I don't know. I'm going to butcher a lot of stuff, so I'm sorry if I make your ears hurt or just dig a knife into your back when we're talking about this. I apologize right off the bat. Now, looking at the packaging, we have what we come to expect from McFarlane. Real big window up front, showing you the figure, showing you all of the accessories you're going to get with it. Warhammer 40,000 logo on the bottom. Another window up top so it lets the light in. You can see all of the extra tape that they put on there when they shipped it from GameStop, because this box is beat. Okay, so luckily I am not a in-box collector. I have no idea what this is, but this looks awesome. This graphic on the side here. On this side, we have an image of our Space Marine, along with the Raven Guard Veteran Sargent on the bottom. We have a promo shot of the figure in action, and we have a few more of the figures that were part of this line. The Necron, the Battle Sister, and the artist's proof of the Necron. I'm probably not going to get the Necron. I might get the Battle Sisters to go along with the Space Marines, because the more I look at them, the more I'm liking the design of them, and I am eventually going to get at least 1 or 2 Gene Stealers from the line. But look at that. See how the box is pretty much ripped open? So, let's finish the job that FedEx started. Let's rip this open, and let's take a look at McFarlane Toys Warhammer 40k Raven Guard Veteran Sargent. Okay, friends, here he is, our Raven Guard out of the box, and just like the Blood Angel, he is a big, chunky boy. So let's put the tape measure to him, and we'll see how he measures up. And we can see that to the very top of his helmet, he comes in at just under 7.5 inches tall, so he is scaled to the rest of the McFarlane line, but he is also a little bit bigger, which is fine because he's a Space Marine. He should be bigger. Now let's bring him forward. Let's take a look at sculpt and articulation. All right, we're going to take a look at articulation first, and as always, we're going to start at the top and work our way down. Though up here at the head, he can do a full 360 spin. He can kind of get some tilt side to side, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Get that shoulder pad out of the way. He can look up, kind of look down, but really his best articulation is either going to be up or to the side All right, now his arms will do a full 360 spin. These shoulder pads do get in the way, so the arms aren't going to be able to come up very high, only to about there. Now, I thought with the Blood Angel that these only had single-jointed elbows, but as a commenter or a viewer pointed out in the comments for the Blood Angel video, they actually do have double-jointed, the Space Marines do have double-jointed elbows, but the problem is that their shoulder pads are so chunky that you really can't get much more travel out of them. See, that's just a little bit past 90 using the double-jointed elbow right there, but this big honking shoulder pad gets in the way so that they can't really get much more space. But they do have a bicep swivel. They have a bit of a butterfly joint in the shoulder right there, and when you move the butterfly joint, you can sort of pivot the shoulder piece so that it stays in the position in the direction that it should be facing. And then they have their swivel hinge swivel wrists that McFarlane uses, that this goes, what's it set at right now? This goes up and down. It turns. Or you can go down. You can spin it. bring it up, and now the wrists go in and out. All right. Now at the waist, focus, at the waist, he does have some pretty good ab crunch, especially for a figure this size. And as a matter of fact, like, he can really crank back. He has, these Space Marines seem to have some of the best ab crunch out of McFarlane's entire line. And that is a little annoying that these big armored figures have more ab flexibility than somebody like Batman. Okay. But you can also turn at the ab. Like I said, he can crunch forward, he can crunch back. There is a ball joint here at the waist, so the waist will turn as well. There's not a whole lot more movement except going back. If you try and move him forward, it seems like his belt buckle gets in the way. But that's really about it right there. Now for the legs, let's get the arms out of the way. For the legs, they come up not very far at all. Let me zoom out a little bit here. They come up not very far at all. That's about as much as you're going to get out of it, mainly because of this piece right here. They do have the swivel at the hip. Leg can come up fairly decent. Leg can go back. Double jointed knees. Ankle goes back. Ankle goes forward. No rock side to side. But really, what could you do with all of this armor right here? Okay, now looking at the sculpt and the paint app. I mean, the paint app is what it is. It's fairly basic. It's black with some white, red for the eyes, and then you have a red band around his insignia shoulder right here. Now, I thought this was going to be basically entire reuse. Man, I can't even get them both on camera. Entire reuse from the Blood Angel here. And for the most part, it is. Like, the torso sections are all complete reuse. The only thing they changed is the chest symbol. Whereas this has the winged skull, this has the blood drop with the wings on the sides. Now, there are differences to the sculpt, which I found fairly interesting and wasn't expecting. That, first of all, the helmets are two completely different sculpts. You can see how this one has the pipes coming in, and this one just sort of has like air filters or a single pipe. Also, this has a raised reticle on the eye right there, whereas this is more flush with the helmet. And you have these cables coming up on the helmet, whereas this one is more of a smooth look. And that's really cool that he went into the detail of having different helmets for the different orders. So I'm assuming that each order is going to have its own helmet. I don't know if that's how it is in the game. In Warhammer 40K, let me know if it is. I also really like this right here, like this raised skull. Like, it's hard to see. I don't know if the camera's picking it up right. There you go. But it's just like it's sculpted into the helmet, and it's hit with a splash of silver paint that looks fairly spot on too for something that small. I think they did a really good job on that. Now, on here, basically, the right arm on both of them is the same. You have the same shoulder pads, except this has this attachment right here of this shield. I don't know what this is supposed to be, if there are like order insignias or chapter insignias that would go here, like maybe this is a badge or something. I don't know, or if it's just supposed to be extra armor. Let me know in the comments down below. And then on this side, the arms, the arms are different because you can see this is a plain arm, and this has this silver cross with the skull on it, which is just so metal. Also, I really like how you have this white raven right here for the symbol, and this has the Blood Angel blood drop with the wings. I like that this isn't raised. I think this works better painted on, just like the Iron Cross, I don't know what that is, over here with this red paint around it. The legs and the hips and, like I said, the torso, the hips are basically the same, except the Blood Angel has his blood drop right here, whereas this is just flat. The legs for the most part, the upper part of the legs are the same. I don't know how well it's showing with this black figure right here, but here's what I found really interesting. On here, on our Blood Angel, as you saw in the review, he has these cuts in his knee. He has this battle damage in both knees, just on the painted one and on the unpainted one. But when we bring our Raven Guard forward, it's clean. There's no marks in it. It's like these are two different. I don't think he went all out and did different sculpts, but they actually took the time to like make these imperfections, these marks in the knee for battle damage, and the Raven Guard is a clean look. That's really cool that they paid that much attention to detail to it. I really appreciate that. For accessories, we have his Space Marine backpack. Once again, I don't know if these are air vents, if these are jump jets, what the purpose of this backpack is, but I do know that it has this square peg right here, and if we bring our Raven Guard in, he has this big square peg hole on his back. Oh, and I forgot to mention the brown paint for the belt. Like, I like that too, just adding an extra splash of color to it with the brown pouches back here. But then we take the backpack, we pop it in, and like I said, I don't know what the purpose of the backpack is, but it definitely completes the look of our Space Marine. Like, you don't realize that the Space Marine doesn't look complete without the backpack until you put the backpack on. And I really like the look of this armor. Some other accessories that he has is his pistol right here, and I mistakenly called the Blood Angel's weapon a bolter. Somebody, one of my viewers informed me that it's a plasma cannon or a plasma thrower, which makes sense considering they were called, you know, Blood Angel Hellblasters. So yeah, they would have plasma weapons. This, I believe, is a bolter, a bolt pistol. I'm sure somebody will let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what these are. And I really like the look of it, how it has sort of like this gunmetal gray. It's molded in this gunmetal gray plastic, and it has a little bit of a shine, a little bit of a swirly turly to it, giving it a metallic look. I think that looks really good. The only thing I might do is add a dab of black paint in the barrel to black it out so that you don't have just that silver right there. And of course, our Raven Guard comes with his chainsword. And I know how impractical this weapon actually is, but man, do I love a chainsaw sword. Whether it's Warhammer 40k or whether it's Gears of War, I just love the idea of a chainsaw sword being swung. And I like how the guard here is all black, but you also have the teeth coming out in this same sort of metallic gray that the bolter was done in. And the hilt of the weapon is done in that swirly twirly metallic looking gray plastic as well. At the pommel, we have this golden skull right here that, once again, just like the skull on the helmet, there's some really good detail on there, and they really nailed it with the paint app. I have a little bit of splash right there, but I'll probably be able to get rid of that. But other than that, I think the paint app on the golden skull looks fantastic. The only other thing I wish they would have done, they put the brown in the belt of the Raven Guard. I wish they would have painted the wraps on this sword brown to match. Although I can understand why they didn't, because as you will see, when we try to put it in our Raven Guard's hand, despite being so thick, this is actually this whole thing is actually a very flexible rubber. So, and his hands are decidedly not flexible. So getting the sword in his hand takes some finagling, and I don't want to push the pommel through because I don't want the paint to rub off of the golden skull. But as you can see, having to work it in there, if this was painted brown, I would imagine that eventually that would all rub off anyway. What you kind of have to do is you just take, let me get it on camera, you just take right here the most secure part and you push that in first. And then that's really the only place that he's holding it, is right there where his thumb and finger come together. But there he goes with his chainsaw sword, and oh, is he a beast with that thing. And then he has a trigger hand right here for his bolter, and this is decidedly much easier, that you just push it in, you have to open it a little, and then twist. And there he goes. He's armed up. He's ready for battle. Bring on the Gene Stealers. And finally, like all McFarlane toys, our Raven Guard comes with a figure stand with the Warhammer 40k logo tampoed on it. But truthfully, this figure is so big and so chunky, and it just stands there. I don't know how much you actually need this stand, but I still appreciate that he includes a stand. Look at that. I still appreciate that he includes a stand in all of the figures that he ships out. Because even if you don't want to use the stand for this guy, you might have other figures that you need stands for. You can use that for pretty much anything. Now for size comparison, here he is beside McFarlane Toys Warhammer 40k Blood Angel that we've been talking about, and the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Hazmat Batman. Here he is beside Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes and Cobra Commander. Here he is beside Hasbro's Marvel Legends, Captain Marvel, and Genisvel. Here he is beside Lanyard Toys, City Hunter Predator, and White Xenomorph. I seem to have misplaced my Xenomorph drone, and I forget what the White Xenomorph is actually called. And finally, here he is beside Jazzwares, Spartan Collection, Master Chief, and Noble 6. So yeah, I don't know anything about Warhammer 40k, but man, do I like these Space Marine figures. There's just something about them that I really like, even though technically they all look the same, just with a few minor tweaks here and there. But I really, really like these Space Marines. And I love the articulation in them, that they have more ab crunch than most McFarlane toys. It just makes me frustrated that I wish all of the McFarlane figures had the same amount of ab movement as these guys do. But I love their size. I love their weight. Like, there is some heft to these figures. I love the accessories so far that they come with. Like, in true Warhammer 40k fashion, everything is so huge and so over the top and so ridiculous, but it works for this line. It works for this aesthetic. Everything just works. I love the stark blackness of the armor with the bone white accents, with the winged skull on his chest, the Death's Head helmet, that little silver skull that's molded into the forehead of the helmet. Everything about this figure, he's a Reaper. I mean, he looks like a Space Marine version of the Grim Reaper. And I would love to know what that shield is supposed to be up on his shoulder. So seriously, if you know what it is, tell me down below. Seeing what Todd is doing with the Warhammer 40k Space Marines makes me wish he hadn't given up the Halo franchise, the Halo series of figures. Because don't get me wrong, I do like the Jazzwares Spartan Collection Halo series, but as I keep saying with that line, I really can't recommend it for anybody because there are so many faults with it that really only somebody like me, who is the most staunch Halo fan, will be able to appreciate those, because they do have flaws in them for being action figures. Our Warhammer 40k, though, if there's any flaw, it's just that the weapons are a little too flimsy, a little too bendable than what I would appreciate or what I would like for them. But other than that, like, if you could have imagined this guy and the McFarlane Spartans standing side by side, that would have been really cool. So I don't know, maybe I'll try and get some of the McFarlane Spartans on the secondary market, see if I can find them, see how they stack up. But that is what we have for you today, my friends. We have much more coming down the line. If I don't get to talk to you on Monday, everybody have a safe, healthy, and happy 4th of July. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.